Hello, I'm Father Tighe, and this is Windows into Heaven. Let's go a little bit more deeply, if we can, and begin to read the icon. Remember, of course, the icon is a language. It's a completely different language, and most people don't like icons because they can't read the language. The same way, I'm sure, if we opened a book of Chinese and Russian, we'd simply put it down because we couldn't understand it, we couldn't read it. Well, the icon is the same way. Every little bit of this beautiful image of Jesus, and all icons essentially have the same beautiful details, if you want. Now, remember, the icon comes to us from the Greek world, and in the Greek world, the human form was the form of complete beauty. Wasn't anything that was more resplendent of God than the human form. And they believed in beauty. They believed that God could be seen in beauty. Nothing more beautiful than the human form. So when the iconographers, when these great men began to paint the holy images, they took the classical Greek form. And if you want, they took Greek pagan art and they baptized it. They made it Christian art. So the face of Jesus is a typical Greek face, a long nose, a very high forehead. Their theory was if you had a very high forehead, you were very wise. If you had a very long, pointed nose, it meant that there was great wisdom, that you had great wisdom and there was great dignity to it. The icon of Jesus, his hair is always pulled back, and you always see his two ears. The ears are always showing in the icon. For me, that's very important because it means that Jesus is listening. It means that Jesus is listening to the Father, that Jesus is listening to God. And for Jesus to really be the Messiah, to really bring us the gospel, Jesus has to listen to God. He was the real contemplative of God. And the Lord Jesus listens not only to the Father, but the Lord Jesus listens to us, to our prayers and our supplications and to our pain. And the Lord hears the cry of the poor. The neck of the Lord is always kind of strong, very masculine, if you want. And again, look at the light, because the neck of Jesus is to show us the Spirit. He's filled with breath. He's filled with life. He's filled with the zeal of the gospel. And the Lord's hand is in blessing. And if we look very carefully at the Lord's hands, you can see that two of his fingers touch and the other three are separate. That means, of course, that Jesus is telling us that he has two natures, that he's human and divine, and that he's a part of the Holy Trinity. The book of the Gospel is just opening up because the Lord is telling us that he's beginning revelation. He's going to begin to reveal to us what's inside that book, with his life. That Jesus' life is the revelation of God. And here we have this beautiful frame and this nimbus. Later on, we'll look and we'll see that inside of the nimbus are three interesting letters. And the angels, of course, hold these scrolls. One holds the cross, the other holds revelation. And so the icon comes to us as a real gift from the church, the early church, the Church of the East. Before there were statues, before there were other images in the church, there were always icons. Icons are the oldest image for us of how we really understand and show the divine. So the icon is really a statement of divinity, and the language, human, color, beautiful, and form is really the revelation to us of God. Remember that light.